My name's Indira, and I'm with Tech Kids Unlimited. Our mission statement's on the screen, and I'll tell you briefly about what we do. So we're a nonprofit organization that teaches technology to neurodiverse youth ages 10 to 24. And I've been with Tech Kids for a long time, so I can say we started off as doing tech workshops about like animation, digital art, game design, web dev. And we saw as our community was growing that there was this huge gap. And the gap is in the workforce. A lot of autistic people aren't employed or struggle to gain employment, to sustain employment. And although there's a demonstrated interest in technology, there's just not enough support for that. So that's kind of where we're going and what we want to bring to the table. I started as a counselor. Just a little bit about me and my background, because it's like, who is this person? It's me, Indira. I have been there since 2015. I was like at NYU studying, and Beth, the executive director, walked up to me and we just had a conversation about the organization. And since then, I've been working as a part of it in some capacity. I was a counselor, and then I was like, actually, I really love this. I love teaching youth. I love showing them the freedom of creative expression. And through my involvement with young neurodiverse people, I've been able to share the joy and like, we're making a collage about Sonic the Hedgehog, and now you know how to use Photoshop. And that's like, I've met children who don't speak, or they either choose not to, or they struggle with that in some capacity. And it's like, you get to know more about them through providing these tools. So Tech Kids Unlimited provides educational opportunities for students with autism spectrum disorder and ADHD. We have weekend and after school courses and week-long summer workshops, after school career pathway, holiday programs. We again expanded into work-based learning, and the tech skill workshops have been a core of what we do for a long time, like I mentioned. And our mission, a bit more about that, we want to address the gaps in accessible experiences with technology. We want to inspire neurodiverse students, and we want to teach computational thinking and tech skills in a nurturing and supportive, individualized community. Does anyone know someone who's neurodiverse or identifies as neurodivergent at all? Nice. Yeah, so for those who cannot see the audience, that is most of the room actually, which is pretty awesome. So here's a list of what some of our community members may identify with or experience. It's not comprehensive, but a lot of things kind of go hand in hand here. And we offer virtual and in-person programs. Our virtual programs are great because we see people from all over the United States. And our in-person programs are also great because people get to like hang out and play video games on like their Switch that they bring together. And we work out of the Ability Lab at NYU Tandon. We have social workers in each classroom, a high counselor-student ratio, and financial aid that's available, and also some free programs. So now I talked about what we do in a general sense, but I want to think about what access looks like in practice. And I have this sick video to show you.
For me, neurodiversity means that some people's brains are actually different from others.
It means that everyone's brain works differently.
That my strengths are also my differences.
That there's a spectrum of people who learn or gather information differently. And that can also mean that we have quirky and unique abilities, you could say.
Your typical people think differently than we do.
I think about how creative people can be.
How much I love my special interests.
How I can see the world in a unique way.
And how we solve problems in different ways.
One thing I wish people knew about autism is that it's not a curse.
That we deserve to be treated with respect.
It doesn't make you any less normal.
It's something that makes us all unique.
You might think autistic people can't find a way to make friends, but in fact, I have my own way of doing that, and it's just fine.
People think I can't communicate well, but I find my own ways.
Autism helped me gain confidence in life. Autism isn't a curse, it's what makes people special.
You might think that people who are neurodiverse can't live by themselves, can't communicate well with others, and can't stand up for each other. But in fact, we can.
So then our tools that we teach can also be used for storytelling, because anything can be a medium for storytelling and narrative. So in the top left, we have a game design workshop. There was tabletop games and digital games, and this card game workshop allowed the students to express their interests about pirates, or it was pirate-based. And we also provide opportunities for feedback and just getting to know how people feel about what lessons we're teaching, if they want to do more of it, because that's also an important thing, is just like engaging the youth, the students, and just like, we want to have fun. We're also learning, but at the same time, it's like, we want you to use these tools because you want to use them and because they're going to benefit you in some way, right? So in the bottom left, you'll see the youth on the digital art programs. We also like to use a lot of web-based software that is accessible to them when they go home, so you don't need to buy an expensive subscription that essentially is that, that's a barrier, financial barrier. So we believe in transferable skills amongst tools. And these videos I'm just going to talk over. One example of working with the community, Marilyn the chef is this lovely nutritionist on the left who came in to talk about nutrition and the power of choices. Like if you're at a bodega, you can get the candy bar or you can get the orange, and which one is healthier for you. And we invited her in because we have students with ADHD that would just eat a lot of cookies for lunch, as one does. I used to do that. But then they would just crash and just start napping on the table. And it's like, you need to make informed choices about your health and need to know, at least know like what's going on with your body and how this could change if you want that to change. And then on the right, we know our students love karaoke. So I met some artists and I was like, hey, they have this fun project where they do like karaoke where they switch out the words with the data sets. So it's combining like AI, tech, and also karaoke. And it was super fun. And that's a tech social. So we also have opportunities for people to connect in that capacity. Digital Agency is one of our programs where we partner our interns up with clients and they do client projects. So one of the things on the left is the Museum of Moving Image has this event called Marvels of Media where they center autistic and neurodivergent creators. And our digital agency got to present games in there this year and last year, which is really great. And so that's been a really great partnership. It's also just a way of celebrating all the hard work that everyone's doing, and we get to hang out together. A bunch of the staff came this year. It was really fun. And on the right, it just demonstrates Digital Agency is a virtual program. So also when we get to celebrate it in person, that's cool too, because then people who haven't met each other see each other in real life. And it's like, you're taller than I thought you'd be, for example, is something I might say to somebody, because for those who can't see, I'm short. And so access just finally is a practice, not a checkbox. So it's something that we have to keep doing and find new ways of doing, new ways of applying it. And it lives in every part of our ecosystem at Tech Kids, but also just this ecosystem, the curricula, the media, and the mentorship. And when we make space for neurodiverse creativity, we all benefit. Some space that you can make for neurodiverse creativity. We actually have an exhibition of student work if you want to come and check it out. This is the RSVP QR code, and that's it, actually. That's all I have. So I'm just going to leave the QR code up.
Thank you.
How do you involve neurodiverse youth in shaping the way Tech Kids Unlimited shares your stories or their stories?
That's a great question. So we actually have the Neurodiversity Advisory Council, which is made of community members from Tech Kids Unlimited. And we essentially have a group of community members who are like, I like this program, or even deciding which workshops we're going to have, having ideas of what they want us to share on social media, or volunteering to create things that they want to be shared on social media. And so just really one student in particular is like super involved, And he was like, I love this guest speaker. I want them to come and guest speak for us in this program too. And so we were like, yeah, we'll make that happen. So yeah, it's just really about nourishing that self-advocacy and allowing more opportunities for people to engage with what they're a part of, you know, calling people in. Nothing about us without us. Not to like, that term might be, I don't think it's a cliche. I think it's like a good term for a reason. So we definitely practice that.